Masechet Menahot Daf Pebet Amud Aleph 18 lines down. Itmar. Hamat Ma'ot Maaser Shani Shlamim. Someone sets aside money of Maaser Shani to buy a Shlamim. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kaneh. Rabbi Yochanan says the Shlamim acquires the money. Vez Amar Lo Kaneh says no. But even the Rabbi Yochanan Amar Maaser Mon Hajati according to Rabbi Yochanan holds that Maaser Shani belongs to the person and the individual versus the Bet HaMikdash. The Kula Amal Pligi to Kaneh. Everybody agrees that it acquires. Keep Pligi where's the Machok the Meir the Mar Masun Gavo. According to the Meir who said that no Maaser Shani is considered like God's. Man Damar Lo Kaneh Kere Meir. One who does not work is like a mayor. One is acquired, even Rameir would agree. Kevin de Maaser Karet Hashlim, since the Maaser Sheni is similar to Hashlamim, or offered like a Hashlamim, Kimat Pez Lemnam, so therefore he designated it to work. Maybe you have a question. Hamat Pez Ma'od Maaser Sheni Hashlamim, someone says like Maaser Sheni for Hashlamim, Keshu Putan Masif al Hinshti Mushin, you have to redeem, you have to add 2/5. I had like two penalties, like I had like Kodesh, I had Maaser. One is for redeeming Kodesh, and one is redeeming Maaser Sheni, seemingly that it does work. Gemara says, "Mi sabra tibra kol." It's not according to everybody. Hamani Rebbe says, according to Rebbe. Okay, new Mishnah. Minan la mera that harin if someone says, "I want to bring a korban to that," shelo yavi ela min they has to bring from non-kadosh money, not mazashini. Therefore, the pasuk says, "V'zevachta pesach Hashem elokecha tzonu bakar." V'elo pesach hen ba'el aven kevasim min aizim. But why did it say sheep and flocks and cattle? We know that Pesach comes from lambs and goats. The Gemara says, "Im kinman tamil matzon bakar." So why does it mention it? Lakish kol haba min atzon bakar the Pesach. To compare everything from flocks and cattle to Pesach. Ma Pesach. The Rashi b'haba in b'alachin just like Pesach is required and only comes from cholin. Av kol dosh b'haba in b'alachin. So anything that's mandatory like a Pesach, or Shalim rather, also has to be from Hulin. Lefikach, therefore, how Mary let to die, someone said, I want to bring us to Shalim. Since once they said that, now it's required on their vow. They can also bring from Hulin. Also, in any case, must only be Hulin. وبسخ كوفمنا هنا بسخ itself has to be from Hulin. Then it says repeatedly there نمر بسخ بمصرايم ونمر بسخ على الرات since بسخ مصرايم and Pesach by the Korban in future. ما بسخ مصرايم لو من Hulin just Pesach مصرايم it's only from Hulin. It's only the thing that exists at the time. بسخ عمل الرات لو من Hulin so to future as well. ما بركي في كيسة بيخيد النية شام يفشي يفشى. One second, like I just alluded to now. You can't make a comparison to something that was impossible. It was impossible to have Hagdash money back then. So how can you learn something from there? The Gemara says, "Hazar b'Akiva v'zen dino acher." He learned a different matter. He learned a different logic. Mal pesach l'sem shekin entam matan damin l'gavriach. Why? What we're comparing from Mitzrayim Pesach. There's no mizbeach to do the special sacrificial applications of limbs and stuff. Tomorrow Pesach Rosh Hashanah. How can you compare it to the future things that future Korban Pesach that doesn't require the mizbeach's application? Tomorrow says Amalo, Va'areomer. Therefore the pasuk says Ve'avatat avodah azot ba'chodesh hazeh. She'yikol avodah shel chodesh hazeh kazeh. Anything this month has to be like this month, just like Pesach Mitzrayim had to be from Hulin, so too as well. The Gemara says nowadays. Rabbi Akiva ve'esvar da inari asher leiklad milte. According to Rabbi Akiva, we say that you're able to judge something impossible from to something possible, like Mitzrayim to now. Why do you have to bring another reason? Yeah, that if you retracted it, then you can't learn from Mitzrayim. You just refuted that. Pesach midbar yachiach. And the Pesach of the wilderness also was proof to that is not required because even the Pesach in the wilderness also had to be from Cholin and they had the Mizbeach to do it on. Okay. The Rabbi Elazar is explaining his opinion according to Rabbi Elazar. Literally, according to me, in the name of Shem Shem, I can't learn from a possible situation from impossible. Therefore, I can't compare Pesach of future from Mitzrayim. However, from you, the Amrat the name of Shar, Shi of Shar, who says that you could learn possible from impossible. Mala Pesach Mitzrayim Shekin and Mizbeach. You can't compare because Mizbeach, there's Mizbeach in the Mizbeach applications in the Midbar and not in Mitzrayim. Tomorrow Pesach the Rosh Hashanah Mizbetan Mizbeach. Amar Be'ezar, therefore he has to answer him back with the pasuk to teach you that you can compare. Be'ezar comes to Be'ezar, then Pesach and Reich. How come we can't prove from the Mizbeach that the Korban Pesach and the Midbar, where you were able to bring from Cholin and you had the Mizbeach there to do it. So how come you can't bring that as an answer? Why do you bring a pasuk? The Gemara says he's responding for Rabbi Akiva's opinion. According to me, I can learn impossible from possible. Possible from impossible. On that question that you said is Mitzrayim is different. Pesach midbar yachiach, the wilderness Mizbeach Pesach was different. It was is your proof. The end the name Shem Yivshar, and even according to you says we can't learn possible from impossible ba'avata. Therefore, I bring you the pasuk ba'avata. V'ash shenami litvach. If that's the case, why don't you ask another question from the pasuk? How come we don't move on from that? Amar Rav says if that's a merit in meshivin ala hekesh, the answer is because you can't bring logic if you have a hekesh. Okay. وبتربية Amur in the Bible Josh they said "V'chi davar le'le hekesh halim hekesh." You can't learn from one thing from hekesh, teach you another thing through another hekesh. Versus no b'klal itmar Pesach kula hadei mutahi. Yes, you can't do A B B to C. However, over here since Korban Pesach is one subject, you can transfer. Rabbi Akiva according to Rabbi Akiva Pesach te'eno ba'am ela ben achim minele. Any Pesach cannot be brought only from Cholin. Nafkale mehad amar Shmuel mishum lo zaytin from following. Zot Torah le'olah al-minhal v'hatat la'Hashem l'miluim v'zevach hashalim. Ola. Why mention Ola there? Ma'ola teonakli. There's like an Ola needs a utensil. Of course, technically say also everything else needs a vessel. Ma'i, what utensil are you referring to? Ilam mizrak is referring to the bowl that receives the blood. Gabim is b'vecheh shlamim tzibur namiktiv v'zeveh ba'aganot. Over there mentions also bowls by the shlamim. Why have they bring it over here as well? The Gemara says El Sakin is referring to the knife to slaughter. V'ola guvamina, I know that Allah also needs a knife. Terti v'yishlach Abraham et yadov v'yikach et ma'achet l'shot beno. We see Abraham Avinu when he had to slaughter his son. Ba'atam Allah, who Yitzhak was going to be then Allah. And Terti v'ayla v'ola ta'abenon. He therefore we see he needed a knife. Okay, mincha, I mentioned mincha over here. Ma mincha ina nechal la zechar kunim. We see the mincha only by male kohanim. Av kol ina nechal nechal to all korbanot only by male kohanim. My, how what other korbanot are we comparing here? Ihtan Hashem, you're trying to bring Ihtan Hashem. Be'ektib, we say that the pasuk says that clearly that only male kohanim can eat it. Is if Hashem Tzibor referring to communal shlim also they don't eat it. Meruri k'ayat, if you can learn that from the pasuk. Be'kosh koshim tochlena kol zachar yochal oto. They made out zechar shlam tzibor she'en nechal zechar kuna. Seemingly you already know that. Okay, tonight you know it's mechot tonight. Ikdamati la me'achas, some people learn it from this pasuk just now. Ikdamati la me'achas, some learn it from there. We'll continue the Brayta tomorrow.